On today's episode of Where Did We Travel To, we went to sunny southern Spain. My parents live in a town called Rota. It's on the coast of Lights in southern Spain, and it's absolutely beautiful. These forests are known to house an endangered animal, which is a chameleon.
Which we actually captured on video this trip, and you'll see it later on in the video.
Spoiler alert. My parents have lived here for years and they've never seen one in this area, so we got lucky.
And the beach was nice and quiet because it's not peak tourist season. We visited at the beginning of May, and peak tourism doesn't really begin until June.
Here we are starting our tour in Old Town Rota. You'll see from a few of the following clips that it almost has a medieval atmosphere with some of the architecture of the buildings. But it's just like any other city center. It's got shops and restaurants, and of course this stunning beach to look at the whole time. Oh, and that's my mom. She was showing us around.
This reminds me of the Little Mermaid in Copenhagen, but I guess Rota's version of it. And that town, or city I guess in the distance, is Cadiz, where cruise ships pull in. Yeah, I could see myself living in Rota. It's off the beaten track, and not many Brit tourists are down that area. I don't know what these creepy heads are.
I like them. I want one of us mounted on the wall. Windsurfing is a big activity here. We saw lots of people trying it out.
Yeah, and in the next video coming up, we actually visit the windsurfing capital of Europe in Tarifa,
I think so.
in Spain.
Further south from Rota.
Mm-hmm.
But stay tuned for part 2 to see that. Old Town Rota is sort of just like a maze of these little alleyways. It's nice to walk through, but it always leads back to the beach. Here's a beached stingray we saw on one of our walks along the coast. Don't worry, my mom rescued him. She dug a little trench with her flip-flop, and he was pushed back into the sea unharmed.
I didn't want to get too close in case he stung me like Steve Irwin.
Crikey.
He looks like he's just contemplating life there. And if you're into beach glass hunting, this is the place to go. I can attest because I have nearly a full jar. And here is the infamous Chameleon. So we just happened to be walking along this boardwalk back to my parents' house, and he was clinging to the side of the boardwalk, and here he is after he spotted us trying to get away from us clearly. But this is the fastest chameleon I've ever seen. Look at him go!
It's because we startled him. He looked smaller than I thought a chameleon would be.
So we visited Spain during Rota's Feria, which is just a fair. This started back in the mid-1800s when farmers and merchants came to these cities to sell and trade their animals. However, over time, this evolved into a celebration of traditional Spanish culture, music, and food. You'll see those white buildings lined along the road. Those are casetas. So a family will typically run a caseta, and if you get an invitation, you get to go party with them for the week. You'll also see a lot of women walking around in flamenco-style dresses, which is cool to see because often they're bright colors or have cool patterns.
These horses, I think, are from the Royal Andalusian School of Equestrian Art, which we saw in Jerez last time we were in Spain. Basically, dancing horses.
They also have these carnival rides and they have fair games, you know, the one where you typically lose a lot of money, right next to where the more traditional casetas and things were.
Most nights we went down to see the sunset at the beach.
And stargaze. Nothing beats it though. It's incredible. We've probably done like over 10 nights just looking at the sunset here. It never gets old.
And it's really nice and quiet. I mean, apart from these people, they're in front of us right now, but usually there's no one there. Which, can you imagine if this was like Copacabana Beach or somewhere like that? It would be packed with people, but there is no one on the beach.
And it's consistent like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because as we said, we were here last summer in July, and it was the same.
It did get chilly at night though, when the sun went down.
And also Feria went on at night, so we went back to see the lights.
Luckily, we caught it on the last night that it was running.
They really put on a display. It's really pretty to see in person.
We felt very underdressed walking through it.
In my jeans.
Yeah, even all the men had like shirts on and, as you can see there, basically suits.
So, for the next part of our adventure, we ditched the beaches and went to the mountains.
Yeah, it's called El Torreón, which translates to the tower. It's yeah, it's tall. It's
Taller than Ben Nevis, no?
yeah, taller than Ben Nevis, so it's taller than any mountain in the UK. Oh yeah, and this is the pincer fir, which is an endangered species, and it's actually only found in two places on Earth, and that is some mountains in the north of Morocco and also this area in southern Spain.
So, here we were about to reach the top of this mountain, and we were literally rock climbing. You can probably tell from my face, I'm like, how are we going to get up there?
I think we claimed this face of it that you're seeing now, the sort of rocky face. Because the other face, as you'll see, is like sheer drop pretty much.
Yeah, this was the side we didn't climb.
Yeah. You tapping the sign for some reason.
It's starting to clear up a bit.
We waited at the top because we wanted to see if we could spot something, which you'll see in a minute.
Those wispy clouds to the left almost felt like a volcano, like something was brewing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not, it's just a mountain. It's hard to tell, but that is the Rock of Gibraltar.
Which back in 2019 we climbed.
We stopped at this little cafe to get an ice cream. All of a sudden, and I just look over and there was these little furry monkey paws grabbing onto my dress, and for some reason my first instinct was to just throw my ice cream,
So now he's eating it.
and he cashed in.
He didn't get brain freeze or anything. Anyway, back to 2024.